The Philippines, ranked 44th in the world with a GDP of $189,000. A tourism country with warm and mild weather, cheap local prices, and low labor cost, makes it one of the best places for retired immigrants. Then, what about the actual prices in the Philippines? According to the data released by the Philippine National Statistical Office, the average salary for college graduates in the Philippines is over 40,000 pesos. But this is far from reality. In fact, the salaries of beginners who graduated from college are paid at around 13,000 pesos a month. And household helpers are paid between 5,000 to 8,000 pesos monthly. However, small villas have to pay at least 5,000 pesos for housing. Daily transportation costs have to be nearly 1,000 pesos a month. Even if they use cheap jeepney and apartments of some size or condominiums, they have to pay at least 12,000 pesos a month to live. In addition, for paying maintenance, electricity, and taxes, more than half of the salary for beginners in society must be spent on housing. The reality is that they have to spend the rest of their money on transportation, clothing, and food. This is why there are many young people who share beds or room to save more than half of their money on rent. In addition, this is the reason why a lot of them commute to work riding a jeepney for an hour and a half, then riding a taxi that could only take 30 minutes ride, just to save a penny. So, are daily necessities next to housing costs cheaper? Metro Manila, the capital of the Philippines, has several large markets. Local markets, which we commonly call traditional markets, such as Divisoria, Paco Market, Libertad, Baclaran, etc. These markets combines wholesale and retail, and usually opens at 3 a.m. and closes around 5 to 6 p.m. All consumer goods and manufactured goods are available here, and some shop from these streets are responsible for supplying goods to small business and online businesses in different parts of the Philippines. Local people who usually live far from this area tends to find small markets closer to their residences. These small markets, which are responsible for providing the daily necessities of the ordinary people, are located everywhere, selling foods, industrial goods, and stuffs to provide for their daily lives. Then how is the real local price? We will go directly to the market and buy something to find out the actual price.
So guys, bibili na tayo ng manok. Tara na, let's go!
In the end, we looked at the prices that we could actually feel, focusing on food. It's never as cheap as the marked price. Some foods are rather expensive, and calculating the various sauces, gas and electricity costs used for cooking shows that it is not easy to solve food problems for a month, with the remaining portion of the salary. Nevertheless, young people in the Philippines shows gratitude to their parents by dividing their salaries and giving it to them, while they raise their own small allowance and take responsibility for their lives. The first thing they think about is how they will contribute to their family, rather than to rely on their parents the moment they graduate from school and enter society as adults. Good morning Philippines, cheer for young friends who live hard.